of these cards. But getting into the Falling Star, this one's hard to read, so I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, the OG.
There's probably an errata for it too. So, okay, flip Falling Star into the playing area.
It's another
from
one
a height
it's another one of those
at least
things.
1 foot. Falling Star deals 3 damage to each creature it lands on. Tap all creatures dealt by Falling Star. If Falling Star doesn't turn completely over at least during the flip, it has no effect. So it's just another chaotic card. I think this card is fine. They could just unban this card, to be completely honest. The Orb, no, but this, I don't give a shit about this.
No, I think it's they want a more control, right? They don't want people sitting there flipping their card and like seeing where it lands. Because the thing is,
but it's just burn.
No, but here's the thing is though, like people will start to learn how to flick the card just right to get it to land where they want. It becomes less like random about it. I think it's more about the control. Each player hides at least one item, then all players reveal them simultaneously. Each player loses life equal to the number of items they reveal. The player who reveals the fewest items then loses half of the life rounded up.
Bad.
That's dumb. I don't like that.
So I don't care about this, honestly. Like, I get why you're saying the chaos of whatever, but this is just burn. This can burn in hell because this can blow up.
No, it's not the chaos. It's the fact that, like,
you're flipping.
Yeah, you're flipping it, and the thing is that it's supposed to be random, but a good player will learn how to just control it, how to flip it, and do it just right, and then it becomes an argument. So someone's like, well, I don't think you flipped it the right way. It's like, well, I did. It's like, well, I want you to reflip it. And they're like, no. It's like, well, I saw you, like, I've seen you flip it that. Like, that's the issue with a card like this.
I don't like the way you flip.
Exactly.
Right? I don't like the way you flip.
Where the control, it's a card that
it's not land destruction is fun. I kind of agree with that, but I also agree with Derek's point. There's going to be toxic. Derek's taking the argument that there's going to be toxic players that even play against how balanced of a card this is. It's a silly card with a balanced condition. Like, you can just play Anger of the Gods. You don't need to play this fucking card.
Yeah. It's just how it functions as a card is weird for the game, and I don't like it.
I could see this card getting unbanned. I don't care for Falling Star. It's just banned for confusion. That's it. For arguments. It's just for the sake of
imagine we're commander, right? And there's 4 of us. So if I'm flipping into the play group, and it has to be at least 1 foot off the ground, whichever direction I flip it at is obviously the direction of the person I want to get rid of. It's not really that random. And then when you have 4 people, and the thing is, people don't always...
It doesn't have to be random. The thing is, with these flip cards, you're allowed to try to hit what you want to hit. That's the whole point. It's not supposed to be random.
It just seems so dumb. And that's the thing is, I don't think they want that type of effect in the game doing that, because it's just...
Look at the legends, bro.
Yeah.
Bro, just leave it be. Okay, so fast one.
Nope.
Enchantment. This one's such bullshit.
Nope.
You know that this got 1 in Vintage again? Or no, it's unbanned, I think. You may play any number of lands each of your turns.
Courser Crew Fix.
If it wasn't your first land you played this turn, it deals 1 damage to you.
Courser Crew Fix.
That's over.
You know, same time. If you play Courser Crew Fix, you reveal the top of your library. It's a land, you get to play it because of Courser, because of this effect, and you gain the life that you lose, so you net even.
Could you imagine this in Tatiova too?
No, I don't want to.
Because you also gain life.
Hey Tom, how about this?
I play Oracle.
Tom,
also.
I pay bounce land. I return it to my hand. I played a land this turn, so I'm gonna play this again. I'm gonna return this to my hand.
Draw my library.
There you go. That's why, Tom. That's right, Tatiova, you would just go infinite.
Also, there's a colorless bounce land now, so this is even degenerate green.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's why we can't have that.
Alright. Oh, okay. Alright, I want to talk about this card. Okay. So, this has never been played against me in a casual format. I've never won. Not even in CDH has it been played against me. I've played it. I did play it. But this card is not broken. No one uses the degenerate side of Flash Hulk. I've never seen a single goddamn player use it. I've never even seen anyone use Flash. There's a million times better cards. You don't want something that's going to make a creature die. Like, sure, there are some decks that you want creatures to die, but not usually in blue. Like,
I guess
maybe if you're like blue-black or like, something like that. Like,
or anything that could reanimate, like blue-green even, because green is pretty good with recursion as well.
But really, what are you, like, what is it going to be? Like a Rune Scarred or like something that you could just play because you have degenerate mana ramp as is in the certain colors. And like, it's just never been good in the format. ever. So the CDH community, when Thassa's Oracle got printed, they had an entire year of just nothing but Flash. It was ruining the entire format. Nothing else could be played. Entire decks were built around either beating the combo or having to play the combo. And Tymna Thrasios became the strongest commanders, undoubtedly, non-disputable, because they played the combo the best. Because even the dead creatures in the deck that were played for this combo could just be played and you can gain value off Tymna or Thrasios. Because Tymna is a broken card in a 4-player game of Magic, especially in CDH, where 98% of your deck is normally Mana Rocks. So you're not blocking very well, unless you're in green, which, isn't always there. And to anybody who doesn't understand how the combo work, I used to play it because I am a degenerate. So... Well, hold on.
So yeah, it's 2 mana Flash and Hulk.
So-
Hulk dies.
So you use Protein Hulk, right? Which was a very dead card in the deck. So also, I want to say, before I get on too much tangent about this card, I'm okay with them giving CDH one card, but I swear to Christ, if they ever convince them to bet, they said, we are never listening to the CDH community again. We give you just this one, because even the Commander advisory group voted to ban this, and they just kept getting pounds and pounds of messages and like begging them to ban this card, like we'll never ask for another card, blah 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 blah. There's always going to be newer, more broken cards printed, but whatever. We'll never have to ask for another card banned, even though all the good decks became Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, like just the next best combo, or like the Underworld Breach, Dockside Extortionist, Lion's Eye Diamond combos, like Intuition into small like Reclamation, like the they just play the next best thing. But Flash was too degenerate, because Flash, you could even win in response to them winning. Like, they could go for Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, and you're just like, Flash, Protein Hulk, the game's over. Because the way that the combo worked, which it was the best in Tymna Thrasios, it was core and I forget what the full card was called. Is this thing? No. Yeah, here we go. Where's the low costed one? It was a 2-mana core that could like redirect damage.
See, I don't know the Flash
So-
combo you did.
Basically, hold on. Let me just. It was no.
Yeah, they're probably not going to show it that way. Yeah. But anyway, so it redirected damage.
So the way that it worked is there was a card that could be targeted. There was a card that could be targeted that said whenever it got targeted, you can mill a player for 1. And then so there was a card that could target something to redirect 1 damage, and then when the card got targeted, it would let you mill your opponents. But you would target you can mill yourself to like redirect or something, and then so you'd get Thassa's Oracle, the 1-mana card that would mill whenever it got targeted, and then the 2-mana white creature that could target a creature for 0 mana and redirect 1 damage to it.
Oh, so you would just infinitely retarget
And then
itself.
on the stack, you would target the blue creature, mill your entire library, and then let Thassa's Oracle resolve.
Gotcha. But yeah, so but I guess because it's the potential turn 2 combo power there with just Flash and Hulk.
You could do it on turn 0.
Oh, true, right? You could turn 0 that,
Because
right?
they used to play all the like discard to make mana stuff too, but now we don't, because like it's not as good.
Imagine if we had wish cards that we could have our Hulk or our Flash in our sideboard.
See, this is like 1,000,000% why I don't like it. But yeah, so basically Also, they play Boseiju, Shelter's All, Grand Abolisher, more things to stop people from being able to do stuff on their turn. Because they could also get Grand Abolisher in their hand if they happen to have Thassa's Oracle already. So they could get Grand Abolisher instead. So now you just can't interact with the pieces. Like, there was just a million ways where this deck was just too batshit. Like, it played the elf that you could discard to make a green. It plays Gemstone. It played all the free mana stuff.
Remember when Protein Hulk was banned?
Yeah, and then they're like, yeah, fuck it, let's unban it. Why not?
To be fair, like, it didn't run the format. It just became a combo getter for certain decks that ran it. Maybe more for EDH, but
Just trying to find the other card. It was the Cephalid and Shaman of Encore, right? Or no, this is the better one, the Nomad, right? So it was the Cephalid and the Nomad, right? I was trying to find it. I knew it was an Encore creature, but I was just having trouble finding it. So the Cephalid says, whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. So you got this off of Protein Hulk, you got this. So you couldn't get Labman before. So like it's showing Labman, but you can't get that because it has to be less, right?
that's still a total of 6 there. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Right. So you still can get this, but Oracle's better because it wins on the spot. You don't have to draw.
Yeah, you don't have to wait to
draw. Cephalid says whenever it becomes the target of spell ability, put the top 3 cards of your library into the graveyard, and then you can prevent combat damage, whatever, doesn't matter. So then you look at the Nomad Encore. This says 0 mana. The next 1 damage that will be dealt to Nomad Encore this turn is dealt to target creature you control instead. So you pay 0, you target a your creature, right? And then
yeah, so then it triggers and you just keep doing it. Mill your whole deck, and then Thassa's Orca's ability resolves with 0 cards in your library. You could even play it. You could even play it safe and like, I'm gonna leave 1 card in my library because Thassa counts for 2.
Like I said, with Thassa's Oracle combo, you have to play it on your turn. That's the fair part about it. With Flash, you got to do it during everybody else's turn. Win during their end step. I used to do it. It was dumb. And then with Boseiju, Shelter's All, how do you interact now? Because let's say I have Thassa's Oracle in hand, which is easy because I'm a black deck, green deck. I have a million ways to tutor it. Also, the deck played Summoner's Pact at the time, so you technically had 2 copies of Protein Hulk. Because you could just Summoner's Pact in response to Flash or whatever and look for it.
So anyway, going down the list, Gifts Ungiven, I could agree could stay banned.
Yeah, this card's just egregious. Like, I think anything that's... Like, if you think of Fact or Fiction as a card, and then you think about this card, like, this card is ridiculous. You can search for up to 4 cards. Sometimes you can get less.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, hey, I have Reanimate in my hand, so I'm going to dump 2 creatures that I'm going to dump a creature that reanimates, and the thing, or just dump something I want to get in my hand. Like, yeah.
You could get him buried. Remember, it's any card, not just creatures.
I know, it's so it's fine. Imagine, like,
this Buried Alive look like baby work, and it's instant speed.
So Tom, you're playing like 5 colors, right? You play Gifts Ungiven. You have the Animate Dead in your opening in your hand, right? So I'm gonna get World Gorger Dragon. Okay, put 2 into my graveyard.
You want to know what's the worst thing about this too, though? Is you just get like the Noxious Revival, Regrowth, Gifts Ungiven, and the card you want.
Yeah,
Thanks.
Well, you can't get gifts.
What I mean is, like, you get things to recur it and the 2 cards that you actually want. That's the problem with this card. Intuition, like,
Wait, you get like the recursion cards. That's right, because it doesn't exile itself, right?
2 go to the hand. No, it doesn't. 2 go to hand. 2 go to hand, right?
You get,
and then 2 go to grave.
So you get like 3 recursion cards, and the one that gives the one that gives a spell, not flashback.
So they choose what goes to the graveyard.
Yeah. Oh, what's the mission briefing? You get 3 recursions and mission briefing. There you go.
Yeah, this card would be played in CDH also, hands down.
You get too much out of it, and it's instant speed.
You just tutor the combo. Underworld Breach, like it's exactly what they're doing with Intuition. Personally, Intuition's pretty good, but like there's also a price thing with that, and I don't know.
So Tom, if Gifts Ungiven was sorcery speed, do you think it'd be fair?
No,
Still too much
no.
value.
Well, no, yeah, for shit. Like Buried Alive is broken, and that's
Yeah,
fucking only
true.
creatures and sorcery speed.
Yeah, true.
And even this is cracked. This is 2 tutors plus 2 dumps. And if you tutor correctly, like if you always do your piles correctly, you should win. Like there's no reason you shouldn't win. Like let's say you get Thassa's Oracle. Like I don't want to keep fucking comparing everything to CDH, but there's a reason why these things got banned because people like to play with power. So like if you get Thassa's Oracle, Demonic Consultation, Regrowth, and Recursion Spell, or like Noxious Survival, it's like, okay, what do you do? Good luck, bro.
Yeah.
Good luck, shoes. You got it.
We don't even need to
Do what
talk
you gotta
about.
do.
We don't need to talk about Grizzle Brand because we have 40 life, so we already know why that's no good.
Yeah, this is the same thing as why Yawgmoth's Bargain is banned. Because Necropotence is balanced in quotation.
Yeah, but you don't get it right away. You have to wait for the end of your turn.
Exactly, and you skip your draw step. Grizzle Brand used to actually get played a crap ton. It's an unfair card. We know that from Legacy and Modern. We both agree that this card should stay banned because the amount of life that you hand, this card is egregious. Like, I can't even believe people even argue that this card's not a problem.
If you're at full life, you could activate them 5 times and get 35 cards. That's insane. Almost half your deck.
Imagine a Violet's down.
Yeah.
You draw a double. Draw your entire deck. I don't know what you're going to do with it in black, but you'll figure it out. You got a full grip. Yeah, this one stays banned. This card's egregious in every format. Like Legacy, Modern, every format, this card's egregious.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
We already went over Iona. Krakus, I believe, should stay banned because it's anti-commander.
Okay, the funny thing about this is the most broken part of this card is being able to bounce your own commander for free. Or legendary cards for free.
True. But Tom, imagine the Kalia player. I guess because it's just on attack. True. But if
you still bounce the Kalia. Like, you
true.
Yeah, like a deck that requires attacking is just inert. Like, imagine me trying to play Gishath.
Yeah.
You're just like Caracas. GG.
I hope you enjoy just playing your normal dinosaur deck and you don't get to use your commander. That's the thing. This wasn't built or designed for the commander format.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely and this is a warping card. Like, if this ever became legal, white would be so much better just to be able to play this card.
Because once it lands, it's hard to deal with.
Oh my god, white green.
Because Tom, imagine you're playing one of those cards that this enters the battlefield, name a card, that card can't be cast, and you name a certain person's commander. As annoying as that is, that still play around. You okay, I could get rid of that eventually. But this is just okay, I'm going to cast my commander. Cool, it's back in your hand now.
You know how hard lands are to deal with.
But I'm glad you wasted your turn. Put it back in your hand. Cool. Oh, by the way, Tom, I play Seaboard Muse. Every turn, no one gets a commander.
Oh my god, dude, I would love this in Ramita. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, this would be so broken.
Seaboard Moon.
Oh my god.
So let's not do that, please.
Oh, fuck that. Okay. Leovold? Okay. You know, I'm going to say that this is fine in the 99 for the fact that we have 5 other cards that do this now. So, even with the bottom part of the effect, he's actually harder to play than all the other ones. The reason why this is banned is because it's in the command zone. Stopping the drawing is a no-no. Like, this is one of the strongest because we have so many wheels. We even have more cards that stop from drawing. Like, we didn't even have Narset or Hull Breacher or Op Agent when this card got printed. It was just him and Notion Thief just, doing their goddamn due diligence. But if this was legal, I could say that this could be legal for the 99 because we have cards that are just as bad, and he's harder to cast. And the bottom, like I said, the bottom effect is strong, but not so much that I would say that he would be banned in the 99. But banned as commander, not even a shadow of a doubt.
Imagine having Narset, the Planeswalker, as you could play this as your commander.
With the bottom effect.
Yeah.
Whenever a permanent you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you draw a card. So when you remove it, you have the salt of them getting to draw a card also. It sucks. This card sucks. It's the worst design card, honestly. But I do actually wish they would just put the banned as commander back because there's a lot of these commanders that could come off the ban list, if things were banned. Okay, so library. One colorless, draw a card, activate this ability only if you have exactly 7 cards in hand. I really think that this card's that fucking egregious, to be completely honest.
Tom, in Commander, you start with 8 cards in your hand because you draw first. So play this turn 1.
No, because turn 1 you'll have 8 cards in hand.
And then you play this, and now you have
play this.
and you have
Right,
7.
okay. Right, but then you play a land, and then
Also-
you do it again, and then you play a land and do it again. I don't see the problem there.
Yeah, yeah. And like I'm playing blue, and I'm a control player, and
Well, do you think this is? I don't think this is worse than Caracas.
no, it's not. But also the price of entry to pick up.
Well, yeah. Aside from that, like excluding price to entry, because I don't like banning things based on that.
Because it's a turn 1/0 site like free draw.
Well, you got to play a land that's colorless. And if you're like a powerhouse deck, playing a colorless land turn 1 is not the best.
I mean,
there are some decks that would abuse this card.
Mhm.
Like, Shram would love this card. But having to have exactly 7 cards in your hand just to tap and draw for a land. Like, we have lands that we play not just tap. Like, that's powerful. But the condition is not something I see all the time. Like,
I know.
I get that you can leave it, and then, like, if you don't have a Reliquary Tower or Thought Vessel and you're drawing a lot of cards, you just discard, make sure you have 7, you get to draw again.
Bless you.
God damn.
It's also, here's the other thing. If you look at the design of Magic, when it comes to drawing cards, there is at least a cost of 1 associated to most thing, or discarding.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah, that's my problem.
tap free draw. Like even the cheapest artifacts we
Like
have.
War Room. Or
Yeah.
War Room.
Like, I think-
you look at lands like that. Like War Room's
Yeah.
amazing. And you look at lands like that, it's 3 mana, and you got to take life, or castle, or like the castle,
Yeah.
right? The
Or
black one,
Bonder's
like,
Enclave, which is 4 and tap,
Yeah.
or the Ascended Land.
Yeah, you have to have a creature that's
It's the fact that it's a
bigger.
land and it's repeatable, and not just like, okay, I spent
Yeah.
1 mana spell to draw a card. Now I don't have
Plus,
this.
you can respond. Like, let's say you have 7 cards in your hand, and like it's your upkeep, and you're gonna draw. Like, you can just do it then.
Also,
like,
Tom, this makes red wheel decks amazing because red wheel decks always draw you to 7. So
Yeah.
now you get to draw 1 more.
Yeah,
on
I'm
top
still
of
a no for this. Like, if the draw effect was like 2 mana, honestly, I wouldn't care.
No, but
It's the fact that it's just the tap.
yeah.
Even if it was 1, it would still be too bad. But like,
Oh,
the free.
Tom, I just think, okay, check this out, right? So I have I'm playing blue green, right? I have 2 land untappers. Tap to activate Alexandria. In response,
tap to under-
untap,
yeah, I
untap it, tap, yeah. So like, okay, I
Yeah.
draw 3 lands for 3 for free, and yeah, no like.
Yes. You can also go infinite with this card in that regard too. Ew. Okay, no. Limited resources. This is an interesting one.
Each player chooses 5 lands he or she controls and sacrifices the rest. As long as there are 10 more lands in play, players cannot play lands. No, I don't like it. It's 1 mana, Tom.
Dude, there are not Oh my god, there are not cards in this game that stop people from playing lands from their hand. There are ones that bounce. I don't think there's a single card in the game that says you can't play a land.
I think the one of the closest things we have with permanent is Dampening Engine. Look up Dampening Engine. I think that's what it's called.
Isn't that the one that bounces something?
No, it's like you can't play something unless if someone has more permanents than you. Oh, you might have to look at Magic the Gathering. Oh, wait, there it is. Yeah, it's Urza Saga, the very first one. A player who controls more permanents than another player cannot play lands or artifact, creature, enchantment spells. That player may sacrifice a permanent to ignore its effect to the end of the turn. But like, see, it's a 4-drop, and it just looks at permanents too.
But you also can sacrifice something to play the condition. This one you can't.
Yeah, it's
you don't
just
have the fucking option.
Yep.
It just says that if
Tom,
there's 10 lands in play, it's not
10
just your
lands.
land.
Yeah, it's not just your land. So if I have 3, you have 3, you have 2. Yeah, I don't like.
That's it. Limited resources, bro. White hating other players.
See, you know how it's
Do you think that the reason why they keep banning all making white cards terrible is because all the bad broken white cards there are?
Tommy, so if you think about, if you read this effect back, was created a time before Commander was a thing, and this was just 1v1. It's like, hey, we both have 5 lands now. In a deck that was like land taxing
also, don't forget the first effect when it comes into play. Each player chooses 5.
That's what I'm saying. So so I'm playing against you, Tommy, and you, and I play this card back like 20 years ago. You have 5 lands now. I have 5 lands. That's all the lands we have. We have to play around that now.
Mox Amber, Mox Lotus, Black Lotus, Flashin',
Yeah.
I don't know. But back then, they
Show and
had
tell.
that, so it was fair for the kind of format
Yeah.
they played in, but no.
We did
We
Lutri.
talked about this. This
We
is the
talked
only
about
card that we're 50-50 on.
the Moxes.
These,
Yeah, no.
no, honestly, like, I wouldn't even bat an eye if they just chose to ban Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, and Mana Vault. Like, just to get rid of fast mana. Like, I understand that it's balanced in a 4-player, and I don't mind playing with it. But if they just felt like banning the fast mana to slow the format down, I'm completely okay with that. We have a lot of people that abuse those 3 cards at our store, especially Mana Vault. I know that Mana Vault's starting to get in the price range where you can't really buy it anymore. But a lot of people got it when it was like $30, $40 when Ultimate Masters got reprinted.
Mm-hmm.
And, I honestly think that the fast mana and like some of the land destruction cards, I would just like to see gone.
Yeah.
Like I honestly wouldn't care if they banned Soul Ring. I know Soul Ring's a broken card, and I don't think that you win immediately as long as your deck is nice. But not everybody plays the same way,
Yeah.
Sometimes you're gonna see a Tulane cast on turn 2. You're gonna be like, "Well, fuck me, daddy." Like, what do we do now?
Like, because Soul Ring acts kind of the same as the Moxes, except you have to have the mana to play it. They're not just 0. The Moxes become additional lands, basically, because they do make mana.
You can argue that Soul Ring is slightly better in most circumstances than the Moxes. I think in Commander, because not everybody would get to play every Mox.
Well, it's not. Let's think of just, it doesn't matter. Say you're like, I'm playing a single color, right? I play Island Mox. I have 2 blue. As to go Island tap, I have 2 colorless.
Yeah, and then untap 4 mana. Like, I'm thinking either the next turn or like, I understand
that you make more mana you make more mana in the long run because you now have, on next turn you play land, you have.
And then everybody gets to play Soul Ring compared to the Moxes are only going to be in your colors.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I feel like for Commander standards, like, yes, I'm not saying the Moxes are not strong cards, but I still think that Soul Ring, just generically, is a stronger card. I understand turn 1 counterspell, but there's decks that do that.
Well, here's right off. Moxes give you your better color options. Soul Ring gives you more mana in the long run, because you'll be at turn 4 mana turn 2, where the Moxes will only give you 3.
For fair Commander, Soul Ring is better.
Yeah.
For unfair Commander, the Moxes are better, hands down. Not even an argument.
But
for CDH, this is gonna go. I would take Soul Ring out of my deck to be able to play Mox Emerald and Mox fucking Sapphire.
But no, I also agree a little with, like, I wouldn't bat an eye at Soul Ring going, because you know how much it sucks when the one player goes Soul Ring and no one else does, and
Mana Vault. Soul Ring or Mana Vault.
Yeah, how ahead it puts. I don't count those two because, like I said, those are like price of entry becomes
that one burst for Mana Vault though.
Yeah, I know.
Like I don't want to count price of entry for cards. If a card is bad,
true,
they need to be consistent. They need to be consistent. Is all I'm saying.
I do look at more like the health of like the casual format, because that is the majority of where games get played. Less than.
Then does green get too good if we ban all the good artifacts?
Yeah, because they accelerate so fast, and they have they have good everything. Because now they have good draw, they have good creatures, they have good graveyard. They
get to play those cards also, but then how do you keep up not playing green?
You don't.
Exactly. So I feel like there's an imbalance and balance to that.
I think it's kind of it's where it's needed. It lets the decks that aren't green compete with how fast green can be.
Exactly, which is why they keep printing new 2 mana rocks.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Moxes stay banned. Even if it's going to be.
Oh,
Derek, do you not know this card?
Yes, no, I know this card.
Okay, because I was going to say, this is the broken version of Isochron Scepter. This is the one that can cast ignorant turn spells.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can put a Time Warp on it. All right, well, there we go. We did it. Congrats.
Yep, it's yeah.
Congrats, we did it. All right.
Anyway, next
bro.
We don't need to talk about that. We get that.
Yeah. Anything that's Isochron Scepter for high costed things and sorceries, like, no, absolutely not. There's a million cards that can fucking go under that. It's so fucking. Also, it can tap, Derek. It could fix what it gets. You can tap it to take something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Mimic Vat on crack.
Yeah, no, that's way too good.
And it's colorless, so every fucking deck gets to play it.
No, every deck would play it, Tom.
and it gets to cost less.
Because you're just
Because
like,
if you have mana reducers, like if you're an artifact strategy, this is probably a 3-drop. Like, no.
also the fact that you don't have to pay its mana cost. It's just you get to do it.
Oh God, it's okay. Oh God. Can you
Anyway,
imagine it with
Paradox
the
Engine. We
Duolingo?
know, we lived through this, Tom. We
Okay,
lived through
so
this.
the thing about Paradox Engine that I think finally put it over the edge is people were making entire commanders tailored around this card. Like Sylvala, anything that tapped for mana, like Morrowind, what's the
Captain
Rishkar,
the Captain Sisay deck too, the one that tutored for
Sylvala,
legendaries.
yeah, both Sylvala, yeah, Captain Sisay. Like Captain Sisay actually died because this card got banned. Like it's not like a CDH commander deck anymore. Like Captain Sisay's still fine, but it's just not as good as it was. So this card being colorless just makes way too much mana. We lived through this card. I know that a lot of people were surprised by this getting banned.
I wasn't.
But as anybody who's lived through the format, the big problem that I have with this card is Sensei's Top being legal, because Sensei's Top plus Voltaic Key, this combo is a combo that was literally able to be put in any deck. I don't care that Paradox Engine was $50. I don't care that Sensei's Top is like $50. I don't care that Voltaic Key is bulk. If there's a colorless combo that is this good, Voltaic Key just being a good card if you're playing an Artifacts Matter deck, or like if you're just playing artifacts in general, like, you know, if you're playing a Gilded Lotus or cards like that. Like, the combos and like the things that this card could do were just way, way too generic. Like, every deck that wanted to do ramp or broken strategies, like Elves is a really good example for this. Like Elves, especially since there are about 1 million ways that when you play a creature you draw a card now, turned like mono green into a storm deck, and this card being like a centerpiece of strategies like that. Like, let's say you got like a 1,000-year elixir, and you know you got one of these, or like, you know, all your shit's got haste, and you're just like, all right, tap it, draw off Beast Whisper, play it, make mana, tap Morrowind for 7, untap her, play Temur Sabertooth, bounce this elf, replay it, make 58 mana. Like, it's dumb. It's the same problem that I have with Aetherflux Reservoir, but Aetherflux Reservoir has a lot of, you know, play to it. This
Also,
can just be jammed in a lot of decks.
Oh, I'm trying to remember what the card was. So you remember in the same set we had Planar Bridge printed, which was search your library for
Yeah, put it into play. Any permanent, put it into play.
But so there was another one that I didn't see people play, but it was another portal card that lets you search for any permanent card to put it into your hand. So that means you got to
Portal,
cast
yeah.
it and untap everything. So that Paradox Engine and that card let you basically untap, because you just get mana rocks until you had all of them, and now you have like I just do this and I search every card in my deck into play.
Yeah, also Urza existing, you know, made this card batshit, because not only could Urza tap all the things for blue and generate mana, but like he was also the payoff, and everything you cast off Urza untapped Paradox Engine, so you physically couldn't whiff. Because you played such a low land count as is, like 29 or 28 or whatever. Yeah, I lived through this card. It deserves to get banned. I want it to stay banned.
I agree. I don't want it back. It like I said, because every deck was just, the thing is, even if every deck just ran it, there was no reason not to half the time.
Like, dude, and the Sensei's Top Voltaic Key combo is not hard to pull off. Like, it's really not.
We know
like,
why.
You only need something that taps for 2. So a Soul Ring, and you're good to go.
So we know why Primeval Titan is banned.
Yeah, you know, it's funny that this has never come up for like them thinking about unbanning it, because when this got banned, entire play groups, like the entire format of Commander, was built around copying this card, reanimating this card. Because you know, when a strong card comes out and you play it in your play group, there's going to be the black player in the group that's going to reanimate it, a blue player that's going to steal it or copy it. You know, the entire format played around this card, because this card is so powerful. They've never printed a single thing. The only thing that's remotely like this card, and they're not even in the same league.
But Tom, yeah, so I play Primeval Titan, I get Dark Depths Thespian Stage.
Yeah, but not even that. Like, I mean, Field of the Dead is way worse.
Well, if you have the mana, like the lands for, Overwald Hydra,
because this is the only thing that was ever close. And also, Primeval Titan is 2 lands that enter tapped. Anything for 6. And then when it attacks, also. And the problem is ETB. So all the blink decks like Rune, all the double copies. Like, could you imagine this in Urok? Like the double, like the Panoramaticon
Or
guy?
you do the stupid thing that they actually did in
You give him haste.
yeah, give him haste.
Yeah,
Yo,
as long as
Tom.
you're playing Boros.
Yo, Tom, get this. You get Mazavith. Now you untap him, and now he's out of combat and can't get
Well,
blocked and
remember,
killed.
you can't give because the
Oh, it's
lands
tapped,
enter
right?
tapped, so
right.
you have to have amulet. The reason why they win is because they have amulet of vigor, but he's still degenerate because like if you can give him a Swiftfoot Boots or Lightning Greaves, you can attack the turn that he came out. And you just ramped 4 lands. Now, there's a reason why we don't have cards that put any land into play. The only one we have is Crop Rotation, Sylvan Scrying adds it to hand, Overwald Hydra is 6 mana and is an uber nerfed version of Primeval Titan. And it has a 6/6 body with trample.
Isn't
like
there
a
that
relevant creature.
Isn't that one that makes the with the deserts one?
What? Oh, Our Promise?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 5 mana. You can search your library for 2 lands tapped. It's a sorcery. Yeah. That's okay. But it being a sorcery is different. If Primeval Titan was a 6
But
mana sorcery,
he's also a 6/6
nobody would
trample.
care.
He's a 6/6 trample body.
But it's the abuse of it being a creature with the blinking and the copying and the reanimating and the attacking. Like, if it was a sorcery, because if it was a sorcery, Derek, it wouldn't have the attack condition. So it would be, this card wouldn't be banned. But it's the fact that it's a creature with a relevant body that it just warps the entire game around it. Like,
and you know, because green needs to be even farther ahead when they play a creature.
Yeah, I've played against this card. I know how degenerate this card is. We don't have to keep talking about it.
Wait. Does he combo with True Lane?
Primeval Titan?
Because doesn't True Lane...
No.
No, never mind.
True Lane says whenever a creature enters, you put a land into play.
Right.
You draw a card and put a land into play from your hand. And then you can pay 3 to bounce a creature. That's what she does.
Gotcha.
This card, oh my god, I would love to have this card.
No, we had this for a little bit.
We did. We played in the beginning of Commander. We played with this card, and it was stupid. It was a broken card. I own 3 of them
because it's a Seaborn Muse and a Teferi and the like old school creature Teferi in one card.
Right. It doesn't untap artifacts or enchantments.
Okay, it's almost both.
Yeah, but the creatures and lands are usually relevant enough. And the fact that it gives things flesh.
Tom, can you imagine that now in this format with all the draw we have for green creatures? I would love
Kadena. And Kadena, are you kidding me?
No, that's not okay.
Enabler and an untapper.
Any Simic deck, like imagine, okay, I'm gonna play Guardian Project, Beast Whisperer, Zendikar Resurgent. Okay, pass turn, untap. I'm gonna play a creature. I'm gonna draw 3.
So fucking stupid.
Cool, I'm gonna untap and draw 3. Counterspell, untap.
Stupid. Like Seaborn Muse with an upside.
Like Seaborn Muse
is bad enough.
Yeah, she's already teetering on. I don't like her.
Yeah, but this card, God.
I think the only thing that makes Seaborn Muse fair-ish is that to get the full benefit, you have to be running other things besides just mono green. Unless you're playing like Yeva to flash things in every turn.
Because this is a Simic card too, and it got banned. And this isn't even a commander.
No.
Like, this is just a card that got banned. Not surprised. Okay, this card is batshit.
Reoccurring Nightmare, yeah.
Funny thing about this card, Derek, is you can't actually interact with this card if you play it correctly.
So sacrifice a creature.
Go ahead, yeah.
So sacrifice a creature, and then its enchantment. Return Reoccurring Nightmare to its owner's hand. Return target creature.
Where's the colon?
Oh, so returning the Nightmare to its hand is part of the cost. Then return target creature card from your graveyard.
Creature.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So every creature you return to his hand, that's its cost. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate ability anytime you could a sorcery.
Okay, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Play creature. All right, pass priority around. Cast Recurring Nightmare. Does it resolve?
Yes.
Okay, enters. Hold priority. Sacrifice creature, bounce the hand. All right, would you like to respond?
No.
All right, good job. We did it. All right, good job. Look, so fucking stupid. For 3 mana.
Yeah.
I love to play this card. This is fucking stupid. And it's a bad sack outlet, too. At worst, it's a bad sack outlet. Luckily, it doesn't say every graveyard. Like, my God, what a card! You can't respond to it.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you can't.
so
They're
weird.
like, oh,
Yeah.
what about Frozen Grip? Bitch, please.
So yeah, because it's the fact that returning it to your hand is part of its cost, so cost has to be
Yeah.
paid on cast or
Yep.
activation. So it's
Yeah.
not in play the target. Wait, Tom, here's what we do. Okay, so when you do that, I'm gonna crack my Relic of Progenitus.
Yeah, that's a way
Bitch.
to interact with it.
Bitch.
But yeah. Like the people that I was watching talk about the ban list, they said that there's enough graveyard hate for a card like this to not matter as much. And I'm like, no. This card's so stupid. No. Because this is just free. They don't have to play anything else.
Also, the fact that, Tom, I could be like, okay, I'm going to sack my Gravecrawler to reanimate anything, and then I'm going to bring back Gravecrawler, then play Reoccurring Nightmare and do it again, and hello, welcome to never keeping my graveyard.
And like I told you, if you play correctly, you cannot interact with it. There's no time where your opponent should be interacting with it. Okay, Raphaelos, this is another one that is only broken
as a commander.
Because it's a commander. Yeah. If this was in the 99, I would 100% be okay with it. 100%.
Yeah,
it's just another broken elf. Just another broken elf.
We already have elves that tap for a stupid amount of mana as is.
Yeah,
we
have like Morrowind. I used to.
We have like three. Cool. We have like 3 or 4 elves that tap for each elf you control or each creature you control. We have. Yeah, it's. I think we have like Gaia's Cradle, like. And the thing is, it says you have to be forest, so unless you're playing mono, like if you're mono green, if you're playing any other type of utility land, they don't count towards him. It's just the fact that him as a commander.
Yeah, it's too much. I think that he, out of everything else on this list that's a legendary, is the one that I would care the least about.
Also, let's think about him as your commander. Sure, he makes you a lot of mana.
It's 4 mana on turn. It's 5 mana on turn 3.
Right. So, what's in your... So, like, but the thing is, with most...
You play all forests, which a lot of the time, even in a monocolor deck, you're not just, like, basic.
Yeah, unless you're a basic bitch.
Oh!
But, Tom, think about, like, the things that make Elf Commander so good is their commanders. Like, let's look at, like Elfball, like the Bard.
This is also like a Staff of Domination card. It's really broken with Umbral Mantle. It's really broken with any of the untappers.
But then, okay, you have to you
have to tutor those in a green deck,
and you need to have something that draws you through the card. You need like staff to actually draw because you don't.
But
you can't.
Derek, I will tell you, in Morrowind, it was very easy to draw into the combo pieces because green draw is degenerate.
It really is.
Especially with Morrowind, just because she got huge. Mm-hmm. So not only did I get to play Regal Force and like Shamanic Revelation, but I also got to play Rishkar's Expertise, Return of the Wild Speaker, and all the ones that involve power. Because she got so big. So it's really easy. Plus, like, between Beast Whisperer, Guardian Project, Great Henge, like, it's not hard to see the cards to combo with this, but you can't tutor them. So honestly, out of every legendary on this list that's banned because of, like, commander shenanigans, I don't care that much about this one. I really don't.
No, because I think we have things that can just kind of do basically the same things already. As
like
you said, as a commander, like
it's just not as degenerate. Like Raphaelos is very degenerate. I'm not saying it isn't, but then you're stuck playing basics, And like in the 99, I don't give a shit about it. Like it's just as good as any other elf tapper. Like Karametra's Acolyte, I know it's 4 mana, but like I've had that thing tap for like 20. So, or Sylvala in the right deck,
Mm-hmm.
Like Sylvala in my Pocket Haldan, I've floated 22 mana before, like, and then untapped it. Derek, I found a really degenerate combo in my deck, by the way. If I played a creature, I could actually make infinite mana, sort of. With Sylvala, because Morog's in my deck, like the one that whenever you play a land, you go to combat and you untap all your creatures, I can actually untap Sylvala and then make a stupid amount of mana again. So if I actually had a creature that tapped for mana, which I took out I took out whatever the one is that taps for 2 if you have a creature with power 4 greater.
It's a Elysian Caryatid.
Yeah, I took that out. If I had something that could be untapped that generated mana on its own, like even a Birds of Paradise, because Sylvala needs to tap a green.
Mm-hmm.
I could like make 60 mana in a turn. I have made. I mean, it's still only 1 green, and then you make all that mana, and Paco gets to attack a million times. Morog is such a stupid card, by the way. It's
Yeah.
so easy to win in that deck with Morog. Like, if I have like a Whisperstill Cloak or like something on Paco, I could just kill 3 players in a turn. Because I play so many ways to play lands. Like, I'm a green deck. And Morog just stacks every time and makes them bigger for each time they've fucking attacked. So it goes from 1 to 2 to 3. Like, it's stupid. And he works correctly. Like, because I play the 4 mana Relentless Assault. I play that, and copying that actually does nothing. Like, yes, I get an extra combat, but they don't untap twice is the problem. So if they don't all have Vigilance, which I have 0 ways of giving them Vigilance, or things with haste came out in combat, then copying Relentless Assault does literally nothing. But the way that Morog is worded is that after each main phase, you get an additional combat phase, and it's like a stacked trigger. Like almost how like Stonehorn Dignitary works.
Yeah.
Where like it just keeps counting the amount of combat.
It says your next one, so you have your next one. It's like, okay, well, what
Yeah,
am
it
I?
says during your main phase, like because Morog, the way that it's worded is it says that during your combat, like during your main phase, if you play a land, you get an additional combat and then an additional main phase again. And then Morog says during your main phase, if you played a land, so it knows that it happened. It's really stupid.
Mm.
And even if it didn't work by like I could play like Harrow and it triggers twice or whatever, you can just set them properly. Like it's a dumb card.
So,
All right.
So
You agree on this card? I'm sort of 50-50 on this. I don't really think this is that bad. I think we have plenty of enough cards that combo with staff and things like that I could potentially see this card coming back. I understand that it's a lot of mana, but we already have a lot of that. I don't really think it's the end of the world.
Yeah, and we already have things like commanders already now that like you put
Not for
an
2.
Umbral Mantle. True.
Not for 2. But again, tutoring Umbral Mantle in this deck. I know that green is a lot of draw, but we're still probably looking at like a turn 9, turn 10 win where it normally should be. Like, maybe I'm underestimating the amount of mana that this makes, but it doesn't say for each forest in play. It's just you control, which means you can't play any utility lands, and green's got good utility lands. So like
you can't run any colorless utility lands either. Just
mono
green.
you just play either your fetches or like your mono green, and that's it.
So the next one,
I'm 50-50 on that. This one is one of those cards that's banned for time constraints and a confusing card.
Yeah, it's the sub game. It's where that Enter the Dungeon got parodied from.
Dungeon. I don't really want to talk too much about this. This is just a card that's banned for the same reason Chaos Orb is. It's just confusing.
It's that early phrase of Magic.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they had silly cards that did stupid
taking
things.
ideas and chucking at the wall. It's like, does this work? I mean, probably not, but like, hey, it's funny. We're making up a game still. And then I think it's best. The game's more refined now. I think since then, you could say, in a sense.
Yes.
Anyway, okay. Sundering Titan. So funny thing about this card is, so the funny thing the other day, Kyle was like showing me his improvements to his deck. It's like, oh look, I put this card in. I'm like, Kyle, that's Sundering Titan, and that is banned in EDH, my dude. He tried to put it in Eldrazi. I'm like, dude, that is uber banned. There's a reason why we didn't.
Because it also says leaves.
Yeah.
Look. If it was just enters, okay, it'd still be banned. But the fact that it says leaves also means that if you try to interact with it, or if it dies. Now, if we're talking about, let's say we're a red deck and we cheat this card out. Where red artifact matters. I'm going to Goblin Welder this 98,000 fucking times.
You're not thinking fourth dimensionally. We play Feldon.
Yeah, or a Helm of the Host. You use Feldon, use all the ways to get it out of the graveyard.
Or
also,
we play blue-white blink, and we blink them 5 times in a turn.
Also, like, is there ways to make your opponents, like, okay, does Urborg become batshit?
Yes, because you choose, and those are all now swamps, so you choose that. So if you're playing mono black, you choose one of their swamps.
No, Urborg can be played in anything, Derek.
Oh, true, right? It can. It doesn't have a mana cost. So you go Sundering Titan. I'm going to choose your swamp. Now, swamp has been
all coffers.
Yeah, as long as you don't have any land types, you like, okay, yours, that's going to be your swamp, and so you do hit everybody else's, and it's like, cool. Now it's not mine. It's right. I forgot. It doesn't actually have a cost anywhere, and it's just an effect.
It's just an effect, baby. Just because it's black doesn't mean it's
Yeah.
even though they clearly made it black. This should really be colorless. I'm gonna be completely honest. This should be colorless because it's confusing as fuck. So yeah.
You know, Thomas, the thing
Also-
is, it's a glistening oil. It's just it got the card too.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Yeah, fuck this.
no,
It-
especially in
Ooh,
artifacts.
land- There's a card that we have to debate between which one is better or not, which is right here. But let's get through Sway the Stars first.
Mhm.
This one is Cancer one. It's 10 mana. Each player shuffles his or her hand, graveyard, and permanents he or she owns into his or her library. Then draws 7 cards. Each player's life total becomes 7.
So in a sense,
I think this is worse than Biorhythm. I'm gonna say that.
it's a blue
I don't
version.
care if
It's a
10
blue.
mana.
It's a blue version of Biorhythm. Exactly. I was about to say the same thing. It's the same thing where
It's
the one
also-
card.
It's just as easy to do it in blue. I don't mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
High Tide, I immediately think of High Tide.
Mhm.
And it's way easier to tutor High Tide in a blue deck than to tutor Biorhythm in a green deck. Or abuse playing a sorcery. Like, there's that new Sphinx. Like, I can discard this with, like, a looting effect and play that Sphinx
The fact that
casts a sorcery from grave for free.
also,
or
the fact
omniscient.
it also resets the game, which
It's
is
fucking annoying. This
so.
was not made for Commander. This
No.
is that guy that puts someone's life total to 10, Sorin,
Mhm.
for blue.
And if you're in a 1v1 with your opponent in standard or any other format, you go from 20 to 7. Not as bad of a loss of going from 40 to 7.
Yeah, it's way different. All right, let's talk about this card. All right, you want to read this one?
So yeah,
we've played with this actually.
Sylvan Primordial.
Mike used to play this.
There was the Primordial set back when that was this funny that this set came right after the Titans too.
Yeah,
So
we
when
still play
Sylvan
Primordials.
Primordial
We like-
enters the battlefield, for each opponent destroy target a non-creature permanent that player controls. For each permanent destroyed this way, search your library for a forest card and put that part of the battlefield. Then shuffle your library.
I'm sorry. Oh, they undertapped. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, it's ETB, blink, destroy 3 non-creature permanents, aka your opponent's lands that they get nothing out of, and you get 3 lands.
It's Terastodon on
With-
crack.
Yeah, because they
with
don't get
no
any.
downside.
See,
And
Terrasta,
1 mana less.
yeah, and the fact so it gets you 3 lands. I mean, sure, it's just forests, but then you could also I'm gonna hit for each opponent, you each lose a land, or you're each losing enchantment, or you're each losing an artifact, and you get nothing out of it, and I do.
Yeah, fuck you, Signets. Eat my ass.
Even so,
I'm the destroyer of Signets.
yeah, no, I get it. The fact it does too much. It's too powerful because it doesn't hurt you at all.
Imagine this in Rune. Like the blinker. What's
Hmm.
what's his name? The one that the Bant one that blinks things for 2.
Oh,
It's Rune. Is it Rune? No. What's his name? The elephant.
I know
Rhino.
exactly. No,
Elephant, Rhino.
he's 3 colors.
Elephant. Rhino. He's Bant colors.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just don't remember his name.
Elephant. Rhino. Elephant. I can't remember. Dude, imagine this. Oh my god, with Glass Pool Mimic now too. Oh my god.
Put Helm of the Host on it.
Oh my god, there's just so many cards that break this. Sublime Epiphany. We have too many good fucking copy spells now. Writer Replication. Oh my god, Writer Replication. Do you want to know what's the worst part about this card, Derek?
Rune of the
This
Hidden Realm.
also
There it
blows
is.
up lands. This
Yeah.
blows up land.
Yeah, that's the issue with it too. It hits lands. So you can put everybody back on a land and then get 3 more. So it's
Because
like
you're always gonna have a target, regardless of if everybody doesn't have something good. You could just blow up a land.
sure,
because it's
but
free.
Tom, you don't get creatures.
Anyway, time vault.
We get it.
Wait. Which one do you think is worse? Do you think? Okay, hold on. Do you think Sundering Titan, Sylvan Primordial, or Primeval Titan? Which one of those is the worst?
So I think they each are worse for their own reason. Primeval Titan puts you way too far ahead. Sundering Titan is too easy to destroy all of your opponent's lands and never yours. Sylvan Primordial is like a mix of both.
Which
So
one's the worst? I know my vote. Hands down. I know my vote for a pretty good reason.
I say Primeval Titan is the worst.
No, I'm saying Sundering
maybe
Titan. Just because it's colorless. And it would get way more play.
True.
And it's an artifact. This is 10,000 times more abusable.
Right. Artifacts are an issue as is.
Because they can make this spell cost like 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then make 58 copies of it when it enters. Like, what's that deck? Brunclad, right? The one that makes copies of copies or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Right, Brunclad? Isn't that the name of the deck? This guy.
Oh,
Brunclad.
right. Well, yeah, you get a mirrored artifact, then you choose it.
So you make a copy. You make a copy of Sundering Titan, right? Then you have Brunclad make all the token copies that you have Sundering Titan, and then you sack them off.
Yeah.
Because that's hard to do in blue-red with all the with KCI. You make all the mana, and then you pop all their lands. It's fun, Derek. It's fun Yahoo Magic.
And the thing is, because you
you play Urborg, and you just play.
And the thing is, you still, even if like you're the only one that has like ons or basics, it's looking for basic land types. So you could just run the instance where like, okay, I'm just gonna play my way around that.
Also, his stats. He's a fucking 7/10 for 8. Making that many copies of that, you're probably winning off just that.
Mm-hmm.
It's strong as shit.
So, do we actually have to talk about Time Vault and Time Walk?
Yeah. Well, this is obvious. If you have anything in that untaps thing, this becomes the most broken card in Magic.
In Tom and artifacts and untapping permanents? What do you mean?
That's completely impossible, Derek. I've never heard that.
It's like there's 2 1-drops that do it. And there's Unwinding Clock, and there's untap. The map things. Cock of Omens. Clock of Omens.
That's what we call it.
Cock of Omens.
Just call it what we call it as a joke.
Cock. There you go. We have both keys.
Wait, is it legendary? No. Make a copy of it. Copy the trigger.
No, Tom. Prototype portal. Prototype portal. We get one every turn.
Yeah, prototype portal.
We get one every turn, and then we untap all of our artifacts. Twiddle. There's a bazillion things to untap artifacts.
Especially depending on the colors you're playing in.
So no Time Vault. Time Walks. Same thing. 2 mana. Take an extra turn after this. A 2 mana extra turn, Tom. Do we need that?
Whoa,
Tom, Isochron Scepter. It's 2 mana.
No,
oh, right. It has to be instant. Right.
Instant. Yeah, but Narset Reversal, Time Walk, 4 mana. Time Warp, I already think it's broken enough, and it's 5 mana.
I know. Wait, Tom, I just built that like extra turn deck.
Eric, but this is just the greatest explorer in blue. That's all it'll do.
Yeah.
Right. That's all it'll do.
Tom, it doesn't exile itself.
Yeah,
which is a problem.
Snapcaster's not a card. Let's just ban Snapcaster.
No, Tom, it's just green in general. Like, okay, I'm gonna put a card back into my hand.
No. Let's just ban all those cards.
I'm gonna Mystic Retrieval. I'm gonna Seasons Past.
We'll ban that.
I'm gonna regrowth. Just to have Time Walk, we'll ban $1 comments. Tom, wait, Tom. I say Balagad Recovery. It's like, no, okay, that's the line. We crossed it. Balagad has to stay.
We only leave one that's like 10 mana, and no one's gonna play it. Like
Praetor's Council. We get Praetor's Council only.
Council, that's it. Praetor's
Tom, I should run that in turbo turns.
Yeah, Praetor's Council, great card.
Yeah. Tinker, we know I Tinker. That's
like Seagate Restoration gives you no maximum hand size as well.
I have that in there.
Yeah, so Tinker, I wanna there's a really funny thing that Jake does all the time where he's like, okay, so Briber's Purse. To anybody who doesn't know Briber's Purse. It's such a bad card. But he just played during this time, so he just always likes to use Briber's Purse as like the #1 example for like Tinker combos, because instead of talking about actual broken 0 mana rocks, he just wants to talk about Briber's Purse.
So what, you put it for 0, Tinker into something else?
No, I don't. I think it dies on 0, right?
No.
Or no, it would still be fine, right?
Yeah, it would just have nothing on it.
Right. Okay. So yeah, you play Briber's Purse, and then you play a land, and you play like Chromox, you play Tinker, and then I mean obviously the like.
Blightsteel Glasses. Oh, Tom, you get Sundering Titan.
Yeah, Sundering Titan. Not this Trample Infect Boy. Also, it puts it into fucking play.
Yep.
This is the best artifact spell ever. Reshape requires mana. Even Transmute artifact requires mana. And that's like arguably the best.
Tom, you go Island Mana Vault, sack Mana Vault to Tinker, and have that turn 0. Yeah.
Transmute. Okay. Do you know what the stigma is with this card, though?
Yeah.
Read it completely.
So you
There's
sacrifice an
a reason
artifact.
why
If you
it's
do, search your library for an artifact card. If that card's mana value is less than or equal to the sacrifice mana cost, put it in the battlefield. If it's greater, you may pay X, where X is the difference. If you do, put it on the battlefield. If you don't, put it into the graveyard. So basically, if you don't pay the extra in the in between, it goes to graveyard, then shuffle.
Okay, Derek. Where's the colon? Trick question. It's not there.
There is no colon. So there is no cost. That's the effect. Because it says an additional cost to sacrifice a spell, sacrifice an artifact. So there's the additional cost. Then you do the effect. So that doesn't have that is its entire
You
effect.
can just choose to not do it.
Yeah.
And that's less than or equal to. So you can actually just get a 0-drop if you like. Let's say they kill the artifact they know you're going to target. At worst, I can get a 0-drop. And I could just pay X. This is why this card's so broken. Is if they interact with the card you're going to sack, you're just like, okay, then I'm just going to pay 3 mana then. And get the card I wanted in.
Wow, what a good card.
It's so broken. It's so broken. It's why it's like
200 some bucks. It's like
$300.
It looked like, yeah. Yo, let's get a special art reprint of this one. We got Grim Tutor, why not this one?
Because this is on reserve list.
Boo.
Yeah, it can't happen. But yeah, so you see why our thing about Lightsteel is there's just way too many good artifacts to put into play. Like even like that one that just puts a permanent into play. Like you can get the Planar Portal first and then go off. Luckily, like this is banned, but you're still gonna find some way to be bullshit about this card.
Tolarian Academy.
It doesn't exile itself.
Yeah. So next one.
So Gaia's Cradle is borderline one of the most broken lands in ever. Ever. And this is that for artifacts in blue. That's not a problem, right?
No. I mean, we shouldn't ban this. I mean, Sarah Sanctum's legal.
Yeah, Sanctum's legal. And, white being as broken as it is, like, blue could use the help. Like, I think fair is fair. Like, if green gets Gaia's Cradle, white gets Sarah Sanctum.
I think Urza and Sai really needs this to really help them keep up. Yeah, Tom, I think this should come off the ban list because Sai and Urza need the help.
Yeah, thinking about it, like when I used to play Urza, I was like, man, these islands suck. Like only making 7 mana on turn 2, I'm like, this is bad. Like if only I had a land that tapped for 9.
Yeah.
That's where the game would really get good. Do you know how good?
Tom,
do you know how good Palancron would be with this land?
Tom, don't forget that. Like, okay, I'm gonna play the artifact lands, and now they add to this too. So my lands and artifacts I play tap for this.
Palancron.
Yes, I know. Palancron's just dumb in itself. Palancron. I know.
Yeah, but the artifact lands add to it like everything. It's so stupid. You're right. Like
or you install Microsoft Lettuce.
Oh.
But Tom, wait, no. Microsoft Lettuce is 6 mana, so I don't know. It's unplayable. I feel like, right?
All right. I mean, we don't really have to talk about this.
Yeah, no.
This is a funny card.
Trade secrets.
Artifacts are already so broken.
Yeah.
Like Urza is so broken that if it had a card like this, there would be a huge imbalance in power. This card is and there's ways to tutor it. Expedition map, anybody? Muddle the mixture, anybody? Tolaria West, anybody?
Hey, Tolaria West gets Tolaria Academy. That's cute.
There's ways to get it. It's not impossible. I'm gonna say that's a big old no there, Chief. All right, trade secrets.
No.
You know that this was banned for the same reason that Iota got banned with those salty games where 2 players would have 98 cards in their hand, and then 2 players would have 4 cards in their hand, and then nobody got to.
Wait, so Tom, I played.
Did you read it?
Yes, I know. No, I know trade secrets. So someone has so 2 people have Consecrated Sphinx in play, and then someone plays trade secrets. Everybody decks.
Oh my god.
But yeah, no, that's not okay.
Yeah, like this led to games where, because 90,000% of the time, would somebody in, okay, because here's the problem. In a 1v1, this is never going to get out of hand. No player is going to give that much degenerate value. But in a commander game, you better bet your dick doodly that politics are going to happen and two people are drawing their goddamn libraries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is how this card is going to go 10,000% of the time. And if you say otherwise, you're just lying. Two people are going to be like, hey, you want to trade secrets and draw 78? We could stop at 78 or 69. That's kind of funny. Haha. Like, you know, this is just one of those cards that it needs to stay banned for the same reason that all the funny haha cards are banned. Like, this is not okay. And the amount that it draws.
For 3 mana, too.
Yeah, even just a 3 mana draw 3. No, 3 mana draw 4.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
And the funny thing is, it looks like it was printed from a commander set.
I think it was a reprint. The funny thing is it was reprinted into a commander set and then got banned. It was legal at one point. Yeah, see? Originally from Onslaught.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then printed into a commander deck and then banned.
I wonder why.
It was legal at one time.
I know why Upheaval's banned. That's not a fun card. It's Cyclonic Rift, but worse. Return all opponents
to their owner's hand.
For 6 mana. It's not a lot of mana, honestly. And that's lands,
hey, Derek,
too.
You know that this card's even 10 times more broken now?
Yeah.
You know why?
Teferi's Protection.
Yeah, you were thinking the same thing. I was thinking Narset's Reversal, Teferi's Protection, Upheaval. Let's go. And this doesn't exile itself, so I'm going to play Deadeye. Oh my god, if I could play this in Rubina. I'm going to Deadeye Navigator on my Eternal Witness, return Upheaval, and just keep doing it. That's fun. That's magic. And I'm going to play Seaboard Muse and untap. You know, this is fun magic. Yep. No, I agree with this one wholeheartedly. I already get salt about River's Rebuke.
Well, River's Rebuke is target one person.
Balanced. That's balanced. Yeah. And so is the Miracle one that you played also. That's also balanced. But
because it affects you
too.
Saying,
like those already get me.
But they don't hit lands.
Replay everything. This hits lands. And everyone. Usually effects like this are one person. This is everyone.
Because the downside of this is, okay, we go through a round of turns, every plays one land and has to discard the hand size.
Also, you could prepare for it. Like, let's say I'm blue-green, and I'm like, all right, I got Scape Shift in my hand, and then I'm just gonna, like, play back. I'm gonna float all my mana. Like, I'm gonna float 48 mana, because I'm a blue-green deck, so I got 48 mana on turn 7. Yeah, like, I'm joking, Derek. Come on.
Yeah, or Tom, or blue-white, you go, okay, I'm gonna Ghost Away all of my creatures. They come back at the end of the turn, now I'm gonna Upheaval.
There's a million ways to use this card if you're ready for it. That's why I hate it. Mm-hmm. Like, building decks around it is cancer. No. Also, cards like Balance are even 10 times as worse because they don't say Planeswalker.
Oh, yeah, right.
World Fire.
Exile all permanents, exile all cards from all hands and graveyards. Each player's life total becomes 1.
I don't see the problem with this card, honestly. How are you going to cast something for 9 mana in red? That's not happening.
So, yeah, you see, it's the same thing as, like, the Biorhythm and the blue one.
Biorhythm is not as bad.
No.
That's his card.
Biorhythm usually puts you to 0, and you lose. Doesn't matter. Well, the fact that
it play a desert and it fucking kills you with one fire. It's not hard to kill somebody after this. Dude, I queef and somebody fucking dies. Yeah. And also, again, Teferi's Protection. Dude, that card is just so fucking stupid.
Yeah, the fact also that it exiles our permanents and all cards from all hands and all graveyards. So that means there's nothing in play, and everybody's at 1. But yeah, Teferi's Protection.
We just like, this card just does so much. Also, when I found out the thing with Narset's Reversal, like, I don't know if anybody knows, but so I took this out of Rubina because it's actually way too degenerate. So normally Teferi's Protection exiles itself. But if you have Narset's Reversal
it puts it back.
Isochron Scepter, because it puts it back to hand, right? And copies it. And because it's under Isochron Scepter, it's not going to exile itself because it's already in exile.
And because it just phases out, Isochron Scepter doesn't blink out and lose its imprint. It's just phased out.
Yeah, exactly. So, Teferi's Protection just comes back to your hand, and you get to keep casting it for 5 mana every turn. 1 blue and 4 colorless. It's super easy. Or 1 white and 4 colorless.
Mm-hmm.
That shit. And with cards like this that like warp the game, Teferi's Protection is so stupid.
And it already answers so much as is. It would give Teferi protection decks more fuel, and the fact that we now have solve the equation, could just search for Teferi's protection to put into your hand.
Yeah, like
No,
we already have enough land destruction still in the format. Like, you know, I personally wouldn't mind if they just banned more of the land destruction. Like, if they just banned Ravages of War and Armageddon, I wouldn't even bat an eye. Or Decree, or any of the other land destruction, I would not bat an eye.
no, I don't.
If they ban Sunder, but I think they need to be consistent. Like, I understand that Worldfire and the blue card are the worst of all of them because the life total changes. But, like, I think that they should, you know, be consistent with certain things. But if they start banning cards like that, because I still consider this worse than most of those. And then at the end of this, we've been going for a while, but, like, you know, we might still be able to fit something in because, like, it doesn't take us that long to make some. But we're almost done here. So, Yawgmoth's Bargain, we already kind of talked about this. 40 life, card's way too good.
No.
You know, I actually play this card in Violus.
Oh, it's the flip one.
No, that's not it.
Oh, it's just you just activate the cost of Necropotence and just draw it instead.
Exactly. Necropotence turns into broken Necropotence